Yeah, cause I done switched it up. I'm ballin' in this big boy hemi, this bitch lifting up. The plates ain't even right, so you know ain't no picking up. Why would I? What's up, y'all? Welcome to the vlog. We finna got something real special for the car. I gotta work on it again. We gotta go through another fixing progress, I guess, whatever you call it. So I got the transmission fixed. What did I do? Oh, so the valve body, so I cleaned up the valve body, like completely stripped it. I soaked the solenoids. I flushed the transmission fluid. It was dirty. I'm gonna show you guys the transmission fluid. Here's transmission fluid. That's full too. Yeah, I did that. And so the transmission actually has a fluid coiler, a transmission coiler, something like that. So I took the lines off and blew through them with some air, both sides. It was a little clogged up at first because the transmission fluid pretty dirty, but it was a little clogged up. Then it kind of started flowing, so I did a couple more times and I put them back on, and then got some new transmission fluid. 3 gallons, which I know I ain't need that much, just trying to make sure. Yeah, that's empty. 3 gallons. I still have a gallon. I still got this and this left from transmission fluid that I didn't use, so that's good. I also put the wing on there. Let me show you. Put the wing on there. It's, let me back up. Sorry for the wind. Yeah, sorry for the wind, but this is it. So, something funny about the wing, it's literally just a stick on. I'ma be honest, it's literally just a stick on. You take the tape off and then you just stick it on there. Well, not the tape, but it's a little thing you take off the 3D glue tape thing, and then it just stick on there. It's a 3-piece. One, this middle piece is 2, and then this is 3. The sides, you just kind of put it inside the middle piece, and then just stick it all on there. It's actually not supposed to go like this, but it just looked the best like this to me. It looked like a little scat pack, small little scat pack spoiler, but not too much. It's carbon fiber. I want it black so it kind of match all that, but it'll be alright. I kind of look at carbon fiber as black and silver, so you know my theme is black, white, and a little bit of silver on the car. Got a little silver, black and silver right here, so it kind of matches, as well as my 345 sign, black and silver, white. That's the theme. So yeah, that's stuff. Oh look, there go another one. Oh wow, mine look better though. Anyway, so that came in. I went ahead and did that. I have another problem. I got an oil leak and it's overheating. If you don't know, I did drive the car. It rolled perfectly. I got it up to speed a couple times. It was at 212. Then I turned it off. I slid it a couple times. It slid like a scat. Boy, I ain't gonna fake it, boy. This is scat. This is scat. What big head underscore 4 say? This a cat. This a cat. But nah, so today what we're gonna be doing is, I already kind of started a little bit. I kind of dislocated some stuff, but I'm gonna put it back together so we can start from scratch. I gotta do head gaskets, and I got the hemi tick. So while I'm down there with the head gaskets, I guess I'm gonna do the lifters. I can't really look at the cam, but I can look at the lifters. I think my lifter's ticking, and I got the the exhaust. You know, your exhaust flange thing be making it tick, and then you got the hemi tick, which is the lifters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug all that stuff back up, and I'm gonna start this video for you guys on how to put new head gaskets on, and probably the lifters too. But I don't have any of that. I just gotta order it. I'm trying to take it apart to make sure that's actually the problem though. But we gonna get started with that. I'm gonna go put some gloves on. My hands are already kind of dirty, so I'm gonna put some gloves on and start taking stuff apart. All right, I got some gloves on. They kind of ripped, but they double. I got black and see-through on both, so we should be all right. But I'm gonna try to walk you guys through it. Um, so yeah, let's get to it. So under here on the engine bay, simple stuff. What you can start doing, what I will start doing, is just unplugging everything. So simply just pull this one off. You got one for the throttle body. Just pull that one off. Wrap it around. I'm just gonna start unplugging stuff. I actually have a different setup for my air box. Everything kind of look rigged, but what I'm gonna, you usually could just pull it from up here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull it from back here, so I have less wires or less tubes and wires around and stuff while I'm trying to work. So normally what you guys would do is dislocate it from her, and yeah, dislocate it from her. It should be metal, but mine is set up different, so I'm gonna move it from her. All right, got this little three-way up out of the whatever you call this thing. Next thing is this air box. I'm not gonna take this off. I mean, well, I need to because I got a cold air intake on the way, but for now, what I'm gonna just do is just lift that up. Leave the box there. Well, I gotta take the I had to take the box off so I can get to them bolts down there. So, when you take the box off, matter of fact, give me 1 second. When you take the box off, it should be one screw. Once again, mine is different because mine didn't come with this screw, so I had to find something else. But you usually have one screw right here, and then flathead right here, and then this whole thing should just come out. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I got that bolt out. Yours would be different. And you don't have to loosen this up you don't have to take it out. Just loosen it up so you can pull it off, and just simply wiggle it. Come right here, and this whole thing should just lift up just like that. That is much better. I can actually see what's going on now. That is much better. Yeah, that is way better. Now I can see what's going on for real. What else? So something else is the EGR valve. Mine is once again rigged. So mine is actually, I had to put some gasket maker around this to hold it so it wouldn't leak. And down here I just have one bolt in. So what most people would do is just pull it up out of there and loosen it up and just take the whole EGR valve off. Well, I'm not trying to redo that, so I'm just gonna loosen this bolt up right here, and when I lift up the whole breather intake thingy majigga, it should just all just lift up as one piece. So if I'm not mistaken, this should be a 10 or an 8. Yeah, it's a 10. It's a 10. And I'm glad I took this apart because this is dangerous. Oh my gosh. All right, I finally got out this freaking bolt, and it's actually an 8mm. So I'm gonna assume all I think it's like 4 or 5, all 4 or 5 of these bolts going around this is 8mm, and the ones coming off of the ignition coils are 10. So next thing, you know, I could just pull it on out, but mine is sealed pretty much and I don't want to rip it. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and you have, let me see, you have a bunch of these. It's like 4 on each side. Just simply start unplugging them. It's a button you can press, this little button right here. Just press it and remove it. I can kind of, well, yeah, because you have to remove the fuel line as well, so it'll be all right. Just remove all of these. It's 4 on each side. Come over here to the other side. Remove all 4 of these. When I get done removing, well, I'm pretty much done. Some of them actually have a red clip. This is what I want to show you. Some of them have a red clip that you have to pull up and then remove it. Same with the one back there. It has a red clip that you pull up just like that, and then press on it and pull, wiggle a little bit if it don't come out. All right, got all 8 of those. The fuel line release is kind of tricky. Hold on one sec. Releasing this fuel line is kind of tricky. But simply just, it's 2 blue tabs that you push on. You can push on them from the bottom and let's see, push on them and lift up. It'd be better if you had some type of tweezers, or not tweezers, but some type of something to do this. I'm gonna try to do this with both hands and I'm gonna get back with you. All right, I got it off and I kind of leaked a little gas. As you can see, it's gas on there. So I should have ran the engine for a little bit more so I can release the rest of the gas out of the fuel rails, but I kind of already took everything apart, so it's too late. So before you start taking stuff off, make sure you dislocate the gas line. And yep, see, look at that, it's just leaking. You bend it down and it start leaking. All right, well, it's nothing I can really do besides grab a towel and removing heads. You also have to loosen up those what are those called, the manifolds. So but you have to raise up the car. My stuff is already taken apart, so before you do that, make sure you put it up on ramps or on jack stands so you can get up under the car. I'm just gonna lift one side up, put the ramps up under the wheel, and then lift the other side up, put the ramps up under the wheel. So you kind of dry that up. I just kind of sat it here. You dry that up. I'm gonna lean this down so I can let the rest of that little gas out. So now when I bend it down, well, it's still a little bit leaking. I'm gonna kind of put this down here and hold it down. Try to get the rest of it out. Trying to get as much gas out of the line as possible so it don't leak on all these bolts and, I mean, not bolts, but electrical wires and stuff like that. But yeah, try to soak some of this up to the best of my ability. Please don't make the mistakes I make. I'm doing this so you guys don't have to make the mistakes I'm making. I'm trying my best, y'all. Don't judge me. But, so yeah. Next thing we gonna move on to is, so, let me see. Let me grab something to point with. And by the way, I make sure I put all my bolts and stuff back in the place that it was in so I don't lose them. Let me put this back in the place it's supposed to be in. Alright, so here, the next thing we're gonna do is you have one, two, well actually, hold on, let me turn on my light. Alright, so I got the flash on. Hopefully that'll show you the, there you go. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it should be 5 on both sides. We're gonna go ahead and take all those off. All of those are 8mm. And then I think we got everything disconnected for you to lift this on up. So, oh, and hold on, let me see. Yeah, so there is another cord back there that you have to disconnect, but I'm gonna show you that when I get back there. All right, I got it off. So like I said, you got 5 bolts on both sides, and then you actually have, well, you really don't have to take one. Hold on 1 second. Oh my gosh. All right. So this is one plug right here that you just take off, just push down and pull back. It's on the back of it. And then you have to take off the brake booster line. But when you don't really have to pull that off. When you pull that one off and start pulling the intake forward, it should just pop off by itself. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start getting these. First, what you wanna do is unplug all of these here. Just press down. Ooh, it's kind of hard. Press down and pull out. And you gotta do that for all 4 on that side, all 4 on that side. And then when you pull all these out, just simply take a 10mm socket, pull 2 from out of each ignition coil on both sides. I almost would say leave them on this so you know which one goes to which, but it's your option. So to be honest, I don't think it matters or not, but I took a Sharpie and I marked front for the front ones and rear for the back. So I got front for F, and then F2 for front, the second front one, and then middle, and then rear. And I did it for this side as well, but I really don't think it matters. I just want to be on the safe side. So I got all the ignition coils off, all 8 of them. And now we're gonna take off the, I forgot what these was called, yeah, head covers. You're gonna take off the head covers. The size is a, let me see, 8mm. 8mm, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so 10 on each side. 10 on this one and 10 on this one. Take them off. I'm not sure if the gasket is gonna rip or not, but I hope not, but if they do, I'll just replace them. So you go ahead and take those two off, and then I'll show you what to do next. All right, I finally got them off, both of them, and here's the two head covers. The gaskets look okay, so I'm probably not gonna replace them. I marked one with a D for driver's side, so I can know which one to put on what side. I don't think it really matters, but I always like to stay on the safe side. Now, what we're gonna do for both sides is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 bolts, which are probably a, let me see, 10 millimeter. 5 bolts, which is a 10 millimeter to remove the rocker arms. I think, yeah, these are called rocker arms. You gotta, so you got 10 bolts to take off 2 rocker arms on one side, and 10 bolts to take off the other 2 on the other side. And then, when you pull those off, I'm gonna show you about the push rods. All right, so we got them off, and I highly recommend putting some type of paper towel or something over the intake hose so you don't get no dirt or debris inside of them. We got both sides off, all 4, and if you come over here, a couple tips that I highly recommend you take. So it's gonna say, you'll be able to tell which one is the intake and which one is the exhaust side. So this is the intake because it's labeled as I on each rocker. And then the, let me see if I can pull this one. And the exhaust side doesn't have anything but like a dot. So that's how you can tell the difference between which rocker is intake and exhaust. And then another way to tell which push rod's going which, the exhaust side is always going to be longer. So when you take them out, here, let me see if I can get this way. Come right here, exhaust is always going to be at the bottom facing down to the exhaust, and intake is always going to be at the top. So this is intake, this is exhaust. If you take them out, you can see, one second, take the exhaust one out, intake out. The intake, this is how you tell which one is which. Intake is going to be shorter than exhaust. All of them, they go for all of them. The intake is always going to be shorter than the exhaust. Remember that. So yeah, you just take all those out. What I like to do is I like to put intake with the intake, what's it called? The whatever you call it, I keep forgetting, I'm sorry. And the exhaust with the exhaust. So they all are the same size. You just gotta straighten them up. Let me see. They literally all the same size, so it really doesn't matter which one goes in which. Just make sure exhaust is with exhaust and intake is with intake. Remember, the intake side roller should have an I labeled on it. The exhaust side should have nothing on it. And then with the push rods, intake is short, exhaust is long. All right, so I'm gonna finish taking those push rods out for that side, and we're gonna get back with y'all. All right, so I have bad experience with pulling these belts off. So one person is gonna be a tad bit hard, but it shouldn't be super hard. So what you would do is you have to take off this. If I'm not mistaken, this is the steering pump. Yes, this is the steering pump. You have to take off the steering pump to take that head off. And that should be a, one second. That should be a 10 millimeter. Yep, 10 millimeter, and there's 1, 2. Well, it's supposed to be, well, yeah, well, hold on. Is it 3? Okay. It's 3 bolts holding on this. To be honest, to tell the truth, I would just pull the belt off, not all the way, just off of this pulley, and literally just unbolt it and don't move it. Just sit it there because I don't want to loosen up no hoses, none of that. Just literally take the bolts out and leave it there. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and take those 3 bolts off. They are 10 millimeters. And then on the other side, for the other head, to take this one off, you have this thingy majigga. I literally don't know what this is for, but oh, it's the EGR something. The EGR, for the EGR. I'm looking and I see 2 bolts. 2 bolts to take off for this, and it's also 10 millimeter. It's one right here and one on the other side, a little lower. So once you take that and the power steering pump off, you should be able to go ahead and crack loose them bolts. But I'm gonna tell you guys what size those are pretty soon here. Let's get started. I'm sorry, I forgot. So to take the belt off, or just off of this pulley, you have to take a ratchet and put it should be a little hole down there right for the ratchet. Put it in there. If your ratchet isn't long, I highly recommend using something like this to get you some more leverage. Just pull it back a little bit so you can just move the belt off. Just like that. When you get them 3 bolts out, that's what the 3 bolts look like right there. When you get them 3 out, they the same size, 10 millimeter. Just simply just sit it down right there. You ain't gotta move it, none of that, because the head just gonna go right above that. Leave it just like that. Then we're gonna move on to this EGR thingy majigga. It's 2 bolts, like I said, and they should be 10 millimeter. Let's get it. All right, so I'm not gonna take it off. I took one bolt off and realized you don't gotta take it off. Just disconnect the plug and it can just come up with the head. But that you do have to take off, or just disconnect the hose, either one. Oops. Next, we got, let me see. Let me try to set this up. We got should be something back here that we gotta disconnect. Let me see, let me try to move this a little bit. Yeah, so you have this bolt back here. Let me show you. Bolt right here that you have to take off. Let me put my finger down there, make sure ain't nothing else. Yeah, just take that off. Not sure what that is, but I know it runs to this tube right here. So, got to take that off, and it's also one on the other side. You can't see it, but hold on. Right here, where this is running to. Right here. You can't see it, but there you go, a little bit. I'll try to get it right there. So you gotta remove that bolt and remove the one over here as well. Those should be, let me put my 8 on it. I think it's a 10. Yeah, there ain't no 8, it's a 10. 10s, you gotta grab a 10 millimeter and remove those 2 from both heads. All right, so I took the back thingies off, and I put a little tie around them so all the negative terminals won't just go everywhere. Got to keep them in place. Speaking, I snapped a 10 millimeter. Literally, like, how you do that? Like, how? But I gotta get another one, but for right now I got a long one. So after you take those two off, you can start breaking these. It's 5 of them. Break them both sides. They 10 millimeter. When you break those, then you can go on the inside and break those. They are 5 on top, 5 on bottom, so 10 on each. Start breaking them, break them evenly. Those sides are 15. And after you do that, you can just simply pull the head up. I'm gonna show you guys right now. All right, so it's another day. As you can see, it's bright outside. One thing I forgot to mention is you have to disconnect the manifolds. Now, I'm not gonna take the manifolds off. I'm actually just gonna lift the manifolds up with the head. So what I did was, you get up under the car, you disconnect. Those are little, what do you call them? They would be your Cadillac converters. Mine is cut off, so it's just a pipe. So just 2 bolts, that should be 15, and as well as the other side, you can't see it because it's a bunch of wires, but 2 bolts, 15s. Once you get those off, you can go ahead and crack all your bolts loose, and it's 2 10 millimeters back here to take off all the negatives. What I did was I took a wire and kind of tie them together so I wouldn't lose them. And same as the other side. You can't see it though. Let me see. Here it is right here. So yeah, 2 10 millimeters, which is for both sides. You take this one off. 1 second. You take this one off, and then you take this one off, which should pull this whole thing out, which should allow this to move. Then that should be it. Like I said, you can't take this off, but I'm actually gonna leave mine on, and I'm just gonna pull it up with the head. You have to remove the power steering pump. I just simply put, what is that? It's horrible. Just simply put my belt under the actual thingy and just took it off. I'm not gonna move it. Well, you can move it, like it can move, you can move it, but just sit it there, just lift this on up. So yeah, when you crack all those 15s loose on both sides, you got 10s you need to crack. And yeah, I highly recommend using the breaker bar because I did break that. But yeah, so after you get that off, the head should simply come up. I do have new head gaskets. I don't know what that was. I do have head gaskets for both sides. Ordered them from Rock Auto. I highly recommend going to check out Rock Auto. It was here within literally 2 days. Brand new head gaskets for both sides. The other one is in there as well. So yeah, make sure you order some brand new head gaskets. And I was reading what Chrysler said. They said the head bolts are reusable, so you can reuse your head bolts. Both the 10 and the 15s, you can reuse your head bolts. Let me show you a 10. Here's a 10. You can reuse them. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reuse them. Now, if you was gonna put like a cam and you was gonna like, you know, go crazy with it, which I'm actually thinking about because I know my lifters need to be replaced. So what I'm actually gonna do is when I take these heads off, I'm gonna take a look at them, and based off how bad they look, I'll be able to tell how bad that cam is. And if they look pretty bad, I'm just gonna go. I'm not gonna put no beefy cam in here. This is supposed to be a drift car, not no racing car. But what I probably do is I put a 392 cam, a cam from a 392 Scat Pack, which is the 6.4 liter. As well as I was thinking about putting a Hellcat oil pump on here. So new lifters Hellcat oil pump will help with that ticking noise. It'll let all that oil get through there a little bit more better, and it should help your lifters not go bad. And I'm also, instead of going to 5W20, 5W20, I'm actually gonna go up to 5W30, which is actually thicker. So yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and get these heads off. Well, I'm gonna just get this side off and then I'm gonna move to that one. All right, so we got both sides off. When you pull it off, make sure you have this thing in top dead center. To tell it's in top dead center, so you have the first piston on the driver's side should be up, like flat flush, and then the third one on the passenger side should be up flush. So I got both sides off. As you can see where I took them off it through. I didn't actually take the manifold off. I just took the manifold off with the heads. There's one. Actually, I do have new head gaskets, but I don't see any damage to these two head gaskets. That one's there, this one's here. This is passenger side, this is driver side. So yeah, I do have new spark plugs for this side. It looks like somebody already placed 2, 4, 6, 6 in this one. So I gotta put 2 in that one and replace all 4 of those, which I have those. So I actually don't see where the head gasket would be bad at, but I actually figured out that my valve cover gaskets are bad, so that's why it was leaking, and they can also cause overheating. But that's what I discovered. But since I already bought head gaskets, I'm just gonna go ahead and replace them. So basically I did all this for nothing, but it'll be all right. So yeah, the next thing I actually want to do is try to clean my hands off. Next thing I actually want to do is pull my lifters on both sides to check them and see what they look like, so I know if I have to replace them or not, and then I'll be able to tell from how bad the lifters are how bad that cam could be, because I'm not going to take the water pump and stuff off and take that cam out unless I have to, which I really don't want to. But if I have to, she gonna get a 392 cam that 6.4 liter cam in her. Let's go ahead and take these lifters off. So the lifters are, let me see, where's my 10 millimeter? My 10 millimeters over here. So yeah, she's broken down, boys. She is broken down. Make sure you keep everything in order. That's my head bolts. You can actually reuse them, but I'm gonna replace them. She should be a, all right, so it's not a 10, it should be an 8 millimeter. So one 8 millimeter, and then this whole bracket comes off. And then you gotta kind of fish those out a little bit, but they should come out. All right, guys. So I got all the lifters out, both sides. Not sure if you was able to see that, but here's all the lifters, and they all look good. They all look good. But so the reason why it was ticking like something was wrong with it, like it was finna blow up or something, was because, as you can see, MDS for the Hemis, I think it's only for the 6.4 and 5.7. I don't think the 6.2 did it, but MDS, you can tell they MDS because it has these dots on them. These are 9, these are MDS. Also, you could tell because it'll say MDS rear and MDS front. Sorry, my phone was about to die. MDS rear and MDS front for these. And you can see they had the hose. So if somebody been in this motor and they replaced the driver's side with non-MDS, why would you do one side with non-MDS? As you can see, non-MDS. Why would you replace the one side with non-MDS and the other side not? So you guys just pay attention, because when you buy these used cars, this is a 06. When you buy these used cars, ain't no telling what they did to them. And then I can tell somebody didn't rebuild this motor, because the 5.7s don't come in orange at all. None of them come in orange. I was really delusional on why my block and stuff was orange. They do not come in orange. So you guys don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. But yeah, so I got all those off. That's pretty much it. If you want to do your cam, then you would have to take the water pump off and take the fan and radiator off, so you can have some space to pull it out. But I'm not gonna do that, because I clearly see, and then my cam seemed brand new, so I clearly see somebody been in this motor. But so yeah, I got the heads off. So that's how you remove your heads and lifters, MDS lifters, off a 5.7 liter Hemi. If you guys like this video or didn't like it, or I don't know, or unlike it, whatever you want to do, I know the video is kind of long, but yeah, so that's the video on a 5.7 liter Hemi, the 2006 Chrysler 300. And this goes for pretty much all the 5.7 Hemis through all the years, because they all are the same. It's just the only thing that's different is like the older ones, I think from 05 to 08 are pre-Eagle, and the, I guess, 10 and up or higher than 08 is the actual Eagle Hemi. So, but yeah, and then this also can go for the 6.4s, the 6.2s. It's just they're gonna have a different intake system. But yeah, so I got all those off. We done took this thing apart. Stay tuned for the next video of me putting this thing back together. I may or may not put a cam in this bad boy. I would love to do a beefy cam, but I don't know. I really don't know. I really would love to do a beefy cam, but the cheapest and that 392 cam, or that 392 and a 345, a 392 and a 345 is literally going to turn your RPMs up to what a 392 can touch. You're not going to get all the power. I mean, well, when I get done with the build, I probably am going to get some 392 power. But 392 heads, or they pretty, everything on the 5.7 and the 6.4 is literally the same. It's just boarded out. Literally, just boarded out. Same with the 6.2. It's the same, pretty much the same block, just boarded out. So I'm not gonna be boarding this motor, but put that 392 cam in there and them 392 springs stock. The stock 392 cam and stock 392 springs is gonna bring my RPMs up to a 392 type of RPMs. Because if you know, the 5.7 RPMs don't rev as high. And then I'll make sure I be sure to get a tuner so I can take that rev limiter out. Take that, disassemble that, take that out, take that on the bottom of that computer. She's gonna be a beast, I'm telling you. And them 5.7s is the best. I'm not sure if y'all know, but they the best to build on. I'm telling you, trust me. With stock internals, the best to build on. Them 6.4s will break like that. You can put boost on this thing and it won't blow up. If you put a certain amount of boost on a 6.4, It's gonna blow up just like that. But enough that talking. This is a long video. I'm sorry for that, but if you guys like the video, please like and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got slideshows coming. As soon as I get this bad boy up and running, you already know. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's actually a how-to video. That me doing that transmission was not a how-to, but this is the actual how-to. Hope you guys are having a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, whatever. Good midnight, whatever. You guys have the rest of your good day and stay safe out here. I'm out of here.